Tuma da lama sauraro kamar da kuke gani kai tsaye daga nan zauren majalisar dokoki ta jihar Kano, wanda gwamnan Kano Alhaji Abba Gida Yusuf zai gabatar da kasafin kuɗi na shekara ta 2024. Ta wannan gaba kuma kakakin majalisar dokokin jihar Kano Rashin Jibril Ismail Falgore ya fara gudanar da jawabinsa kamar da za ku ji.
This is an important day to us, being the first time of His Excellency visit since assumption to the office. You are welcome, sir. By the will of the House, I would like to suspend Order 10, Rule 3, Sub 2, to allow His Excellency enter to be seated in the Honorable Chamber. Honorable Director for opening prayer. Sallu ala Nabi.
Allah ka ba mu zama lafiya. Yan uwan musulmi waɗanda ba su da lafiya ko a gida ko a asibiti, ubangiji Allah ba su lafiya. Yan uwan waɗanda suke fama da tashin hankali, ubangiji Allah ka shiga cikin lamarinsu. Wannan baki namu da suka zo, ubangiji Allah kai su gida lafiya. Mu ƙara fatiha da salatul fatiha. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة عذاب النار ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم.
Notice of motions. By the will of the House, I will secure the notice of the motions. Approval of vote and proceeding. Approval of vote and proceeding. Any correction or observations? All members, any correction or observation? In answer to any correction or observation, leader, call for adoption, please.
The Right Honorable Speaker, sir. Your Excellency, the Governor, Engineer Abba Gida Yusuf, the Deputy Governor, Comrade Abdulsalam Gorzo, my colleagues, distinguished honorable members, the Secretary to the State Government and the Head of Service, members of the State Executive Council, special advisors here present, the permanent secretaries, audience at the gallery, special advisor to His Excellency the Governor, the Right Honorable Isiaku Ali Tanja. My name is Honorable Lawan Hussein Chete Yanguras, Majority Leader of this House, representing the local government state constituency. I hereby rise to call upon the House to consider and approve the votes of proceeding of previous sitting. I so move.
Yes, Minority Leader.
Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Kano State, the Deputy Governor of Kano State, the Right Honorable Speaker, my dear honorable members, honorable commissioners, special advisors, and other invited guests. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Labaran Madani, member representing Wara constituency. The Speaker stands to run the motion moved by the Majority Leader Asosaka.
Does Abba agree to approve our last vote and proceeding without any amendments?
Yes.
Yes, Leader of the House.
The Right Honorable Speaker, sir. Your Excellency, the Governor, Engineer Abba Gida Yusuf, the Deputy Governor, Comrade Abdulsalam Gorzo, my colleagues, distinguished honorable members, the Secretary to the State Government, the Chief of Staff, the Head of Service, honorable commissioners here present, special advisors, and also the special advisor to His Excellency the Governor of Assembly Matters, the permanent secretaries here present, members of the press. I am Honorable Hussein Chete Yanguras. Sir, I hereby rise upon to invite His Excellency the Governor, Engineer Abba Gida Yusuf, to present and lay the Kano State Appropriation Bill 2024-1445 after Hijrah before this House, and as enshrined in Constitution Section 121 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended. I so move.
Yes, Minority Leader.
Very honorable Speaker, Your Excellency the Executive Governor of Kano State, the Deputy Governor, and other all invited guests. My name is Abba Gida Gida, member representing Wara constituency, the Minority Leader of this House. The Speaker, I stand to second the motion ably moved by the Majority Leader as a second.
The law agreed that His Excellency the Executive Governor of Kano State to come and present the Appropriation Bill 2024? Yes. Your Excellency, the floor is yours, sir.
to kamar da kuke ji dai a majalisar dokoki yadda take wakana a wannan gaba, gwamnan Kano Alhaji Abba Gida Yusuf ya taso domin ya gabatar da kasafin kuɗi na shekara ta 2024 shekara 1950 ga majalisa.
Silent. Come on, Aishu. Bad, Aishu.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وصلى الله على النبي الكريم. Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Kano State, Comrade Aminu Abdul Salam Gorzo, Mr. Speaker, Kano State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Jibril Ismail Apolgoro, our amiable members, Kano State House of Assembly, Chairman, Kano State Assembly Service Commission, the Clerk of the House, and of course his supporting staff. Chairmen of our respective parties here present, the SSG, Chief of Staff, Head of Service, members of the State Executive Council and special advisors here present, other government officials and political appointees, members of the civil society organizations, captains of industry and business community leaders, ulama, other personalities, especially members of our respective parties here present, distinguished ladies and gentlemen of the press, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, it is my honor and singular privilege to stand before you in this hallowed chamber to present the first budget for the year 2024 under our administration. Today being the first time as the elected governor of Kano State to be in this respected assembly, I want to begin by registering my appreciation and indeed the appreciation of the entire good people of Kano State to the Honorable Legislature for the support, cooperation and understanding that we have been enjoying from all of you. I want to thank Mr. President, the principal officers and all members of this noble house for their commitment to working with us in restoring the lost glory of our dear state and transforming it to a better place where peace and security of our people are assured, where quality education and good healthcare services are guaranteed, where opportunities and for jobs and businesses are readily available for all, and where prosperity and happiness are also assured. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for sparing our lives and for granting us overwhelming victory and for blessing us with very supportive members of the State Assembly, and also for guiding us into recording tremendous amount of successes in the last 5 years. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for His blessing and mercies to our dear state and for making our state peaceful and safe, as well as keeping our administration very focused on fulfilling our campaign promises and responding to the yearnings and aspirations of the good people of our state. Distinguished members, let me try briefly to enumerate on some of the achievements recorded by our administration from May 29 to date. Mr. Speaker, permit me to present to this House a brief summary of what we are able to achieve. The people of Kano State are very happy with this administration arising from the people-oriented policies, programs and projects that we have kick-started since our coming to office. In terms of education and human capital development, our administration has recorded remarkable progress in education because of our firm belief that it is the backbone of all developments and progress of this nation. That is why we accorded it priority since assumption of office. Some of the achievements recorded in education includes, but not limited to, number one, the introduction of foreign scholarship and sponsoring of 1,001 first-class graduates to study for master's degrees in different universities across the globe. It also includes payment of registration fees to the tune of over 700 million naira for Bayero University students due to increment of tuition fees by the university. Also payment of 1.6 billion naira for the registration of our students for NECO and NVAIS examination fees. We have also supported our two member state-owned universities, that of Kano University of Science and Technology, Wudil, and the Northwest University, Kano, with funds to facilitate successful accreditations of new programs. To cushion the effect of fuel subsidy removal, we have reduced the registration fees in all state-owned tertiary education institutions by 50%. We also ensure the distribution of educational support and instructional materials, including uniforms, exercise, textbooks, black and white boards, etc., etc., to all basic and post-basic schools across the 44 local government areas. We have supported over 70,000 girl child students through conditional cash transfer with 20,000 each. We have conducted need assessment of all teaching and learning infrastructure across the 44 local government areas. We commenced the renovation and upgrading of basic and post-basic schools in batches and started with the construction of new junior secondary schools. We have reintroduced the girl child buses to shuttle students to and from schools, and currently in the process of expanding the scheme to include students of tertiary education institutions. Equally distinguished members, we have settled all outstanding liabilities of BESDA teachers and currently in the process of absorbing those that are qualified to be absorbed into the state's civil service as education officers. As part of our effort to boost girl child education also, we resume work in the construction of 44 technical colleges and 44 schools for Islamic studies, which will accommodate both girls and boys in our society. We have commenced the reboarding of all the deboarded girls' secondary schools across the state. 21 member institutes for skills acquisitions that were closed down by the previous administrations are now reopened. Distinguished members, let me delve more on our achievements in the health sector. Mr. Speaker, as we are all aware that there are 3 levels of care as far as the health delivery is concerned. We have the primary health care, we have the secondary health care, and we have, of course, the tertiary health care. It is gratifying to note that our administration has touched all the level of care and recorded some appreciable achievements as follows. We have recovered, renovated, upgraded, and equally equipped the Hasia Bayero Pediatric Hospital. As I'm talking to you today, if you go to that hospital, you will not see less than 1,000 patients all queuing to receive medical attention. Equally, we have reintroduced free medical care to all of them. Every day, we issue medicines free of charge to all the patients in the hospital. We have renovated and upgraded the accident and emergency section of the Murtala Muhammad Specialist Hospital and have commenced the general renovation and upgrading of Abdullahi Wasi Teaching Hospital, formerly known as Nasarawa Hospital. We have commenced renovation works at Nur Bamani Hospital, Bela Leprosy Hospital, Sheikh Jidda Hospital, as well as Muhammad Sanusi Hospital. Equally, we have introduced free pediatric care in all our hospitals for our children. We have introduced free maternity care for pregnant women across the state. We have commenced the renovation of some primary healthcare centers as well as some general hospitals in batches. We have restored Kano State ambulance services, and we have also re-established the Kano Center for Disease Control. In the area of agriculture, one of our main policies last is to attend food security and raise the income level of residents of Kano State. For us, agriculture tick all the boxes, and that is why our administration is working around the clock to transform our farming practice and build practical agri-value chain to the benefit of all. Some of the achievements we recorded in this sector include the development of Kano Irrigation Master Plan, Kano Livestock Master Plan, Kano Poultry Master Plan, Kano Small Ruminant Master Plan, and of course Kano Fisheries Master Plan. We have recorded achievements in the area of distribution of agricultural inputs, such as improved seeds of rice, maize, sorghum to subsistence farmers across 44 local government areas. Rehabilitation of tertiary irrigation canals with 3,288 farmers as beneficiaries at the cost of 292 million. We facilitated the introduction of Special Agro-Industrial Processing Zone Program SAPZ by African Development Bank was $130 million just to promote the production of rice, tomato, groundnut, and sesame seeds. We rescued the appeals program of Islamic Bank. These are some of the achievements recorded in agriculture. Mr. Speaker, my respected members, on strategic infrastructure, I want to say that critical and strategic infrastructure is a prerequisite to sustainable development. It is therefore a necessary condition for creating wealth as well as prosperity. That is why we place this high premium on the provision of critical infrastructure. The following are some of the main infrastructural projects that we have achieved. Number one, repairs, replacement, and installation of steel guardrails along Kasima Road, repairs, maintenance of steel pedestrian bridges at BMK campus, Saada Tuwini University of Education, and the Amini College of Islamic and Legal Studies. Maintenance work at Rabu Musa Konkoso Obasanjo Flyover in Kano Municipal. Control of erosion means at Garanga Bridge in Bukura local government. Restoration and maintenance of street lights across Kano metropolis. We restored all the street lights in almost 100 metropolitan roads, and currently is ongoing. Turn around maintenance of the 4 main water works, 16 regional water works, as well as the restoration of water supply in the state. Procurement of water treatment chemicals as and when due. We have drilled numerous boreholes in a number of rural communities. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, we believe in leading from front and in providing open and inclusive governance. That is why we set the best example on leadership and governance at the highest level of our administration. I want to say that we have blocked all possible leakages, and we are monitoring the overall expenditure profile of all our MDS to ensure prudence, accountability, and value for our money. Since our assumption of office, we institutionalized public financial management reforms, including the enforcement of Treasury single account, key in disbursement and transfer of salary department to Accountant General Office to ensure accountability. We also established a standing committee on revenue generation to boost our IGR bets on ensuring transparency and judicious utilization of the public funds. As a compassionate administration, with compassionate members of the State Assembly that is guided by sympathy and love for the common man, we have supported the vulnerable segment of our community with palliative materials worth over 4 billion naira. We have concluded arrangement to pay retirement and death benefits to all junior cadre of staff and working to continue payment of gratuity and death benefits in batches to all senior cadre retirees. We have also conducted the mass wedding of 3,600 men and women, fully financed and sponsored by the Kano State government. We have concluded arrangement and have also collected data of 15,000 beneficiaries from across 484 wards, including women, youths, and the disabled, who will receive 20,000 empowerment grant to support their businesses. Mr. Speaker, distinguished members of this respected House, these are some of the achievements recorded between May 29 to date, as far as we are concerned. Mr. Speaker, distinguished members, let me commence what brought us here, and that is the presentation of the year 2024 budget proposal. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, the 2024 budget, titled Budget of Restoration and Transformation, seeks to further consolidate the policies that our administration have started implementing. Distinguished members, the process of formulating the 2024 budget was informed by the compelling need to remain steadfast in fulfilling all our campaign promises and meeting the genuine aspirations of the electorate. The key policies raised of the 2024 budget proposal include the following. Number one, human capital development, including low-level, middle-level, and high-level manpower development. Number two, promoting the general welfare, happiness, happiness, and tranquility of the good people of Kano State. Number three, ensuring security of lives and properties across our 44 local governments. Number four, provision of strategic and critical infrastructure to support growth and development of our dear state. Number 5, achieving food security and improving household income of the vulnerable people. Number 7, creating opportunities for job and business. Rejuvenating the current economy by creating and redistributing more wealth. Strengthening intergovernmental, and non-governmental partnership. On this note, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, let me say that the total recurrent revenue to be collected for the fiscal year 2024 is estimated to be 355,805,415,034 naira, as well as 100,541.27 projected internally generated revenue. As revenue from the statutory allocation and value-added tax, the total recurrent revenue is higher than that of the fiscal year 2023 by 178,804,703 naira.69 kobo, representing 59.75, averagely 60% increase. Mr. Speaker, on capital receipts, the total expected capital receipt for the year 2024 is 39,265,037,223 naira, which is lower than the 2023 by 4,959,999 naira 50 kobo, representing 12.63 decrease. The capital receipt component of financing the 2024 budget consists of aids and grants, which stood at 16,045,223 naira. Loan, both internal and external, with CDF is estimated to be 23,220 million naira, while our opening balance for the year 2024 is 10 billion naira. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, the total revenue recurrent expenditure for the income fiscal year 2024 is estimated to be 134,428,125,977 naira 2 kobo, representing 38.38% of the total budget size. Out of this, the sum of 85,713,393,000 naira is dedicated for the payment of monthly salary and allowances to the civil servants. and political office holders in the state, while the sum of 48,732,977 naira is earmarked to cater for the payment of overhead and other recurrent expenditures. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, on capital expenditure, having laid down the foundation for the implementation of policies and programs since our inception to date, the current administration intends to maintain its commitment in using available resources in the pursuit of major projects and programs in the 2024 fiscal year. Pursuant to the above, the sum of 215,822,194,821 naira 25 kobo is dedicated for capital expenditure, representing 62% of the total budget size, to finance projects and programs across the state. Therefore, the ratio of recurrent to capital is 38:62. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I now wish to present to you the detailed allocation of the 2024 proposed budget as follows. Number one is education. Mr. Speaker, the 2024 budget proposal for this sector received the sum of 95,387,399 naira, which represents 29.95, averagely 30% of the state total budget size. This has surpasses the UNESCO declaration of 26%. This clearly shows our commitment to rejuvenate the sector through injecting more resources towards restoring the entire education system in the state by improving the teaching and learning outcomes. I am therefore pleased and honored to present to this honorable House some major allocations to education sector in the 2024 fiscal year as follows. The sum of 2.3 billion is earmarked for boarding schools feeding program across the state. 2.4 billion is set aside at support to sustain and success recorded in the implementation of free education program. This consists of provision of adequate classrooms and monthly running costs to our primary schools in the state. The sum of 2 billion is projected to cater for continuation of implementation of adolescent girls initiative for learning and empowering, popularly known as Agile Project. The sum of 1.5 billion is earmarked for the procurement of students' desks and chairs across the state. The sum of 845 million is set aside for the implementation of innovation development and effectiveness in the acquisition of skills project, ideals project. To take proper care of primary school education, the sum of 8 billion is budgeted to sustain proper implementation of BESTA UBEX/Kano State for the provision of instructional materials to procurement of education, English and mathematics books, renovation and construction of classrooms at various local governments across the state. 2.6 billion is earmarked to promote the support and establishment of school gardens and farms and to provide complementary feeding. In our determination to strengthen various science and technical schools in the state, over 1.7 billion is set aside in the 2024 fiscal year. 1,250 million is set aside to cover the running of free education program at KSSSMB. Similarly, the sum of 463 million is earmarked for the purchase of recreational facilities, provision of libraries and potable water in public schools. Mr. Speaker, in order to integrate Quranic and Islamic schools in the state, we propose to spend the sum of 66 million for the conduct of Musabaka, Quranic education competition, procurement of teaching and learning materials for the schools, provision of assorted textbooks in some selected subjects at Quranic and Islamia schools. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, let me delve into higher education. I am pleased to present before this honorable House the proposed allocations for the higher education, including 3 universities and tertiary institutions for further consolidation of our giant stride of investment in education. Therefore, we earmarked the sum of 38.8 billion for various projects and programs as follows. Number 1, provision of scholarship grants, foreign and local scholarship allowances with the sum of 3.6 billion naira. We have earmarked the sum of 1,061,075,000 for as grants and Kano State contribution for the construction of surgical complex, obstetrics, gynecology, pediatrics complex, students hostel, as well as academic block at College of Health Sciences, Yusuf Maitama University. Similarly, the university secured another grant of 775 million for the construction and furnishing of distance learning center, central laboratory for College of Health Sciences, extension of Senate building, main campus, and purchase of office furniture and fittings, as well as firefighting equipment. We also propose to spend the sum of 4.3 billion for the construction of Senate chamber, landscaping, and road networking, as well as accreditation at Saadat Uribi University. 2.05 billion is earmarked for Aliko Dangote University to undertake the completion of all the Faculty of Engineering, Library Complex, College of Health, General Landscaping, and Beautification of the University premises. Center for Information and Communication Technology, as well as rehabilitation and repairs of male and female hostels in the university. Mr. Speaker and honorable members, Rabi Musa Kwankwaso College for Advanced Studies Student Wada has an allocation of over 1.8 billion for the construction of staff quarters, students hostel, sick bay, road network, drainages and culverts, provision of recreational facilities, procurement of utility vehicles, landscaping, accreditation program, and conduct of external examination. While at the Kano State College of Education and Preliminary Studies, The sum of 2.1 billion is earmarked for the purchase of farmland 20 hectares, supply of 2-number Tata Mas transit bus, accreditation, resource inspection of NCE programs, construction of 2-number blocks of VIP students, toilets, renovation / upgrading of ICT facilities, and implementation for the Department of Agriculture renovation of CEC block, as well as college auditorium. Kano State Polytechnic is allocated the sum of 493 million for the research and development, monitoring and evaluation, completion of administrative block, construction and completion of 500-seater lecture theatre, renovation of 50-number students' toilets at School of Technology. On the other hand, to advance the scope of science and technology and innovation of our students and teams in the state, the sum of 4.8 billion is set aside for the Ministry of Science and Technology and its parastatals for the conduct of various projects and programs, which include the establishment of the Kano State Information Technology Development Agency, KASIPDA, and running of newly established ICT Park and State Data Center. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, on the health sector, let me say that our continued resolve to prioritize investment in the health sector was informed by the fact that healthy population determine economic development. Thus, public spending on health has a strong multiplier effect on the other sectors of the economy, in addition to enhancing the population's well-being. To underpin our commitment to this sector, the 2024 budget will continue to intensify a rigorous approach of improving accessibility, affordability, and quality of health services across the state. Our consistent compliance with the recommendation of Abuja Declaration in allocating at least 15% to health sector represent a statement of intent from this administration that sustainable healthcare delivery is a key priority. To achieve this, we have earmarked the sum of 51.4 billion naira for various projects and programs in the health sector. Among them are as follows. 1. The sum of 1 billion is earmarked for the construction of the newly established Agency for the Control of Diseases. The sum of 1.6 billion is earmarked for the construction of surgical complex at Muhammadu Abdullah Rasi Teaching Hospital, Zone 7. The sum of 900 million naira is earmarked for the general renovation of 1-number primary health care per ward in all the 484 wards across the state. The sum of 3 billion naira is allocated for the upgrading of primary health cares to general hospitals at the following local government areas in fulfillment of our campaign promises to these local governments. Number 1, Zanyawa, Kweguna, Albosu, Ogwai, Warawa, Garko, Tofa, Kiru, Rimangabo, Takai, Kibia, Shanono, Kunchi, Zakirin Gabasawa, Bunkuru, Garumalam, Dalayan, Kumboza local government areas. Also, the sum of 100 million naira is allocated for rehabilitation of Sir Muhammadu Sunusi General Hospital. The sum of 1.7 billion naira is allocated for the procurement of medical equipment to hospitals, while the sum of 2.1 billion is allocated for the procurement of specialized medical equipment across the state. Equally, in our determination to increase access to basic health care services in the state, the sum of 500 million naira is reserved for the establishment of nutritional rehabilitation center. Accordingly, another sum of 200 million is allocated for ready-to-use therapeutic food for the treatment of malnutrition among the vulnerable children in the state. Equally, the sum of 200 million is earmarked for integrated maternal, newborn, and child care system. In our continued commitment to provide the synergy and efficiency for the health sector in the state, we earmarked the sum of 450 million naira for renovation and rehabilitation of health training institutions. The sum of 500 million was also earmarked for rehabilitation of secondary health facilities, while the sum of 500 million is allocated for the establishment of geriatrics center in the state. The sum of 700 million, Mr. Speaker, is allocated as counterpart funding for Kano State Government, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, as well as Dangote Foundation support to various health care programs and activities. Furthermore, the sum of 535 million naira is allocated for routine immunization across the 44 local government areas. Mr. Speaker, it has been our priority to minimize infant mortality rate caused by malaria diseases across the state. Therefore, the sum of 709 million is allocated for malaria control program. We also earmarked the sum of 500 million for rehabilitation of the accident and emergency units across the state. We also earmarked 500 million for the establishment of deep screening and treatment center. For the unforeseen disaster incidents that may occur in the state, the sum of 500 million is set aside for epidemic preparedness and response. Implementation of health community influencers, promoters and services is allocated the sum of 150 million naira. Implementation of minimum service package MSP investment plan is earmarked to the sum of 1.8 billion naira, while support to state emergency maternal and child health intervention center is allocated 390 million naira. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, on works and housing, let me say that infrastructural development is one of the key determinants of socio-economic activities within and outside our dear state. The present administration considered this sector as a priority to attract capital investment for the overall development of the state. To achieve this, the sum of 14.4 billion naira is set aside for various capital projects in the works and housing sector. Number one, 2.5 billion naira is earmarked for construction of Tal'ud Interchange, Clover Lake. Another 2.5 billion is proposed for construction of Amagundi Interchange flyover. The sum of 1 billion is allocated for the construction of Janguza during Kabokara in construction of 5-kilometer roads at 34 local governments of the state. Equally, the sum of 4.4 billion is set aside for the constituency projects across the 40 state constituencies of our state House of Assembly by the sum of 2,420 million naira is for community-based projects at ward level. The sum of 500 million is set aside for the establishment of new housing estates at Madinawa. Another 1 billion is allocated for purchase of asphalt and quarry plant equipment. We have 500 million naira being set aside for the purchase of road maintenance equipment. Construction of road from Upper Weka and Gold at the cost of 250 million. Maintenance, rehabilitation, and repairs of roads across the state at the cost of 1.5 billion naira. Construction of roads network, regional Gongon in Dawakinkudu local government at the cost of 200 million naira. Rehabilitation of Madobi Bridge to Yako to Kapimayaki Road at the cost of 750 million naira. Construction of Kubara Chibok and Bridge at the cost of 500 million naira. Another allocation of 1 billion goes for the supply and installation of backup solar power at Murtala Muhammad and Muhammad Abdullahi Wise Hospital and ARTD respectively. On the transport sector, we set aside the sum of 4.8 billion naira for the following projects. One, provision of parking lots at the cost of 235 million naira. Purchase of buses at the cost of 1.2 billion. Construction of ultra-modern terminals at the cost of 1 billion. Provision of zonal offices at the cost of 200 million. Repairs of operational vehicles at the cost of 320 million naira. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, provision of urban roads is a major prerequisite to attaining economic growth and development as contained in the Kano State Development Master Plan number 3. To this effect, this resulted in the ongoing projects of rehabilitation and renewal of major urban roads and infrastructure in the state, which consists of the construction of new roads, underpasses, interchange bridges, as well as flyovers. This serves as a clear testimony to our commitment in the march to mega city. To further consolidate our huge investment in this direction, we propose to spend the sum of 5.1 billion for the Ministry of Land and Physical Planning in the 2024 fiscal year. Number 1, street planning and beautification, barricades, interlocking tiles, and street lights at the cost of 514 million naira. Construction or reconstruction of Concourse Township roads, construction of Copper Weka and Border as I highlighted, bypass road, Gwarzo to Ansudi Link, with spurs to Professor Jigarod, Gwarzo Road, Yamadawa Western Bypass, Madobi Road, Yahya Gusau, Sheikh Jafar Link Road, Shekaru Laru Bypass Road, corner Madobi Western Bypass Road, reconstruction of Kunto Yamadawa Link Road, all at the take-up estimate of 1 billion naira. The sum of 1 billion is earmarked for reconstruction of building here to Andawaki Police Station, construction of road from Hauran to Veterinary, construction of Habu Road, reconstruction of Justice Tahir Mustafa to Buda Abdullahi Road, dualization of Dakata to Bela Phase 2, corner Inusawa to Bela, dualization of Mala Amin Kano Teaching Hospital Road, Gedi, Ensaki roundabout to Zaria Road. The sum of 91.7 million is set aside for the provision of interlocking tiles at Savangari Market. 500 million is earmarked for the proposed reconstruction of Eden Ground, which was confiscated from the previous administration and brought back to its normal usage. On agriculture, Mr. Speaker, as we are all aware, that Kano State is endowed with abundant arable lands, fertile soil and conducive climatic conditions for agricultural production, which makes agriculture to be the mainstay of our economy. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, in order to complement the effort of the federal government of economic diversification, as well as the role played by this sector as the largest employer of labor, the sum of 11 billion naira is allocated for the projects and programs of the sector. We earmarked 5.8 billion naira for the different empowerment and farmer support packages under the Islamic Development Bank program, IDB projects, as well as agri components. We also earmarked 3 billion naira to support farmers affected by COVID-19 under the NCARES, the World Bank program. This is with the sole aim to assist farmers, fishermen, and other agricultural businesses to boost the output of the entire sector. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, in the area of supporting local farmers, 499,800,000 naira is set aside for procurement of 500 metric tons of NPK fertilizer and 370 metric tons of urea for the distribution to teeming farmers across the 44 local governments. In addition, 150 million naira is earmarked for the purchase of 15 mini combined harvester for subsidizing services to farmers, reduction in post-harvest loss, and the increase in revenue generation. Another 1 billion naira is set aside for the construction of 4-number veterinary clinics. Mr. Speaker, it is also pertinent to note that the main target of this administration is to achieve food sufficiency and sustained employment generation to our teeming youth through the enhancement of agricultural value chain, development of additional arable land, and increase in livestock production that will meet not only our consumption but to export the surplus to our team neighboring states. On security, law and justice, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, in our effort to prevent the infiltration of bandits into the state who have been under severe military offensive in neighboring states, we have prohibited all unauthorized sales and renting of houses in the state. We have made it mandatory for any person who wishes to enter into such transaction to obtain clearance from the district head or their representative. Mr. Speaker, also in our effort to sustain law and order in the state, government has proposed to spend the sum of 11 billion naira for various programs and projects in this sector in the 2024 fiscal year. This effort will further allow the judiciary also to fulfill its duties of providing checks and balances to other arms of government as well as other security agencies. On water resources, Mr. Speaker, in our determination to make water available across both urban and semi-urban centers and for domestic and commercial purposes in the state, the sum of 13.4 billion naira is allocated to water sector as per the breakdown below. We propose to spend the sum of 2,377,650,000 naira for procurement of water treatment chemicals. The sum of 1 billion is set aside for AFD support to water sector program. The sum of 1 billion is allocated for electricity power from national grid. 1 billion is of course earmarked for reinforcement of trunks, main and reticulation system. The supply and distribution of diesel aqueous water treatment plants, both urban and semi-urban, is to the tune of 500 million naira. We propose 700 million naira for the procurement and installation of generating sets for water treatment plants. 500 million is for the Integrated Agriculture and Water Resources Development Project, IDB financed projects on water supply. 500 million is for the regional water schemes. 371 million is expected to come through grants and facilities for pre-wash project. Purchase and installation of water pumps with allocation of 300 million naira. 300 million is equally set aside for rehabilitation of existing dams across the 44 local governments. We also set aside the sum of 100 million for community managed small town water supply boreholes and based water supply schemes and construction of solar and generator powered boreholes across the 44 local government areas. On rural and community development, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, improving economic growth and development in the rural communities is key towards improving human capital index of the state. This can be achieved through providing employment opportunities for the rural populace. In this regard, the sum of 5.3 billion naira is earmarked in the 2024 fiscal year for executions of projects in the rural and community sector. Key among them is we earmarked the sum of 3.5 billion for the construction of 496.4 kilometer of feeder roads across the 44 local government under RAMP World Bank AFD intervention with state counterparts. Equally, allocation of 1.7 billion for construction and rehabilitation of all the existing feeder roads and other development community development programs to be undertaken by the Ministry of Rural and Community Development. The sum of 467,935,000 naira is allocated for the purchase of transformers and materials for renewable energy, rehabilitation and repair of electricity across the state, general rehabilitation of modern transformers, repairs of workshops and procurement of cranes, vehicles for lifting transformers and erecting concrete force. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, on women, youths, sports and disabled persons, social and economic security programs shall continue to be extended to the most vulnerable groups in our society, even in the midst of tight economic conditions. The newly crafted social and child protection policies are taken into consideration during the budget preparation. Therefore, in this fiscal year, government will embark on rigorous empowerment schemes for women and youths, as well as people with special needs. Hence, the sum of 8.9 billion naira is approved for programs and services under this sector. Some of the programs are as follows. 900 million is allocated for Women Empowerment Program. 800 million for the provision of special grants for unemployed and underemployed citizens to guarantee a basic standard of living and livelihood. 500 million for Youth Empowerment Program. 500 million for the general rehabilitation of Sani Abacha Stadium, Kopar Mata, and Sabangar Stadium, especially for our darling team, the Kano Pillars. 300 million for the construction of Women Development Center at Garko, Kumbozo, and Shanona local governments. 250 million naira for the construction of 4 stadiums at 4 Emirate councils. 200 million for the empowerment through cash transfer and nutrition education for pregnant women and lactating mothers to attend antenatal care. 200 million for the pre-treatment and rehabilitation of the drug addicts spread across the state. 200 million for the child protection programs. On manufacturing, industries, commerce, and tourism. Mr. Speaker and honorable members, this administration has maintained commitment in uplifting the commercial activities in the state. In this regard, the sum of 3.5 billion naira has been allocated for various programs and projects in the 2024 fiscal year. The sum of 150 million is for the establishment of mineral analysis laboratory. 150 million is set aside for to conduct industrial research for development of commercial activities. 150 million for research on solid minerals. Another 150 million is earmarked for the informal sector support development. 135 million 560,000 naira is for the establishment of laboratory and purchase of equipment for Consumer Protection Agency. 100 million naira is for the development and enhancement of ease of doing business. On environment and sanitation, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, let me say that since our inception into office, we commenced operation to keep Kano State clean through massive evacuation of refuse dumps, clearing of drainages, and routine cleaning sweeping of our streets. We have taken every necessary support to avoid the occurrence of flash floods in both urban and rural areas. To strengthen our sanitation and climate action policy, we propose to spend the sum of 8.1 billion naira on various environmental protection projects across the state. In this regard, the sum of 100 million is allocated for tree planting to sustain communal work in promoting clean and safe environment for the good people of the state. The sum of 100 million is also allocated for rehabilitation of waterways. The sum of 200 million is earmarked for the provision of recreational facilities. Another 1 billion naira is set aside for erosion and flood control across the state. We allocated the sum of 270 million for industrial pollution prevention and control of water pollution across the state. The sum of 250 million is also set aside for procurement of special purposes motor vehicles. The sum of 200 million is set aside for the procurement of special purpose motor vehicles, D8 dozers, for sanitation purposes. Equally, the sum of 450 million is proposed for procurement of 3 truck tippers to sustain the routine environmental sanitation. We have marked the sum of 316 million for procurement of 4 new payloaders for the Ministry of Environment. On general administration, Mr. Speaker, our respected members, the general administration sector plays an important role in the execution of government policies and programs. This administration will continue to make it necessary to provide necessary facilities and incentives to all the 3 arms of government, which will enable them carry out their statutory duties effectively and efficiently. Nevertheless, in our effort to promote general administration to greater heights in the next fiscal year, the sum of 45.1 billion naira has been allocated to the sector for effective service delivery in the state. Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable members, this budget proposal is a product of good coordination, cooperation, and goodwill in our collective effort to make Kano State a greater place for all of us and for the generation yet unborn. At this juncture, I would like to express my deepest appreciation to Right Honorable Speaker Jibril Falgori and your team of principal officers for providing competent and qualitative leadership to our legislative arm of government. I am especially grateful to you and all the members of this respected House for the maximum cooperation and support that I have been enjoying from this hallowed chamber irrespective of political differences. I want to place it on record here before you, that no governor, and I repeat, no governor in the history of our dear state has ever had the full cooperation of the legislative arm as I am getting from all of you. I therefore want to thank you most sincerely for that. I also want to register my gratitude to members of my cabinet, heads of government parastatals, political office holders, the judiciary, traditional rulers, ulamas, civil servants, development partners, civil society organizations, law enforcement agencies in the state, members of our party, our Concosia support groups, and more importantly, the good people of our dear state for the support and cooperation we have been enjoying since assumption of office on May 29, 2023. Mr. Speaker, I found it necessary to call upon the people of this state, especially the youth, to avoid being pushed into violence and behaviors capable of causing breach of peace in the state. On the other hand, I appeal to all politicians to always put in their heart the interest of our people above all personal interest. Let me seize this opportunity to thank all of you for the patience, for your patience, for your understanding, and for giving me this full opportunity to be here before you to present this budget 2024. I wish you all the best. I thank you most heartedly. Thank you and God bless.
kuma sauraro kamar yadda kuka ji gwamnan Kano Alhaji Abba Gida Yusuf ya gabatar da wato kasafin kuɗi na shekara ta 2024 a nan zauren majalisar dokoki ta jihar Kano, kuma kamar yadda kuka ji ya yi jawabi daban abin da ya shafi wannan kasafin kuɗi kuma
Alhaji Abba Gida Yusuf, Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Kano State, Comrade Abdulsalam Gozo, who David Asarawa Commissioner, Lucy for Local Government, my distinguished honorable colleagues, principal officers, and other honorable members of the Civil Assembly, clerk, and supporting staffs, chief of staff to the Governor, honorable commissioners, and members of the State Executive Council, special advisors, chairman of Agreed Party NNPP, representative of chairman of APC, other party leaders and party elders here present, the chairman, Assembly Service Commission, permanent secretaries, and other head of government agency and prosecutors, local government chairmen, and other top government functionaries here present, development partners, civil society, organizations, gentlemen of the press, all other distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. All praise are due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May his endless blessing be on our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his esteemed companions. Let me begin by welcoming Your Excellency, the Governor of Kano State, Abba Gida Gida, on your executive entrance to this hallowed chamber for the presentation of the 2024 budget estimates. On behalf of my colleagues, honorable members, I wish to express our unwavering commitment to continue to support you toward provide dividend of democracy to the good people of Kano State. Your Excellency, sir, the occasion we are witnessing today marks another historic day of the first session of this 10th Assembly in exercise this constitutional responsibility and also the first in the blissful tenure of this administration. On behalf of my colleagues, honorable members, I wish to thank His Excellency for the timely presentation of the year 2024 appropriation bill to the Honorable House for our deliberation, consideration, and subsequent approval. Equally, I would like to thank the State Ministry of Planning and Budgets for sustained synergy and collaboration with our Standing Committee on Appropriation. In August this year, the Honorable House alongside with the Ministry and other MDS were in Kaduna for the development of medium-term expenditure framework MTEC document that informed the basis of 2024 to 2026 physical plan of the state. Your administration of which this Honorable House is an integral part, is not for a strong political will, driven by the virtue of transparency, openness, and accountability. This principle have ensured judicious utilization of public resources in the most efficient way possible. The Honorable House acknowledges with good sense of appreciation the level of commitment and physical discipline that you injected into the process of the governance, particularly on public expenditure control and improved service delivery. Permit me, Your Excellency, at this juncture, Your Excellency, on behalf of my honorable colleagues, to commend your physical management strategy as well as your political sagacity to achieve so much within the span of 5 months from the inception of this administration. The people of Kano have witnesses unprecedented achievement in terms of both physical and human capital development. Your Excellency, the Honorable House acknowledges the steps taken by your administration for your general renovation of Hasia Baru Pediatric Hospital, equipped with modern facilities, renovation of Sasalusi Hospital, renovation of Accident and Emergency section of Mutula Muhammad Hospital, renovation of Muhammad Allah Wasa Hospital, renovation of Government Technical College Bagauda, sponsoring over 1,000 students abroad to pursue their postgraduate study in various fields of endeavor, as well as evacuation of 1,000 tons of waste and refuse along major road and street for the improvement of hygiene and sanitation in our dear state. Let me also use this opportunity to congratulate Your Excellency for the success record in the area of security. The Honorable House has noted with satisfaction your commitment for the restoration of street light in the state. We are deeply aware of your administration effort in curbing the insecurity challenges, especially the activities of phone snatchers, popularly known as endeavor, in the state. Similarly, we are not unaware of your efforts in continuation of the laudable program and project initiated by the administration of our leader and mentor, His Excellency Engineer Dr. Musa Konkoso, for the continuation of Budu Road along Goron Bude, Jakar Road, as well as reintroduction of mass wedding ceremony, popularly known as Aurangata, for intending couples to lack the financial strength to consummate their unions. On behalf of this entire honorable house and some of the assembly, I wish to reiterate our unwavering support and commitment to continue to stand by you in your collective resolve to take the state to the greater heights. We also commend the effort of the Commissioner of Police and all security agencies for the sustenance of peace in the state. Let me, on behalf of colleagues, honorable members, solicit the indulgence of Your Excellency for the reconstruction of the Kano State Assembly Complex. The solid state of the building and the facility are making us uncomfortable and very difficult to exercise our constitutional duty. Since the commissioner of this honorable house by the military administration in 1991, the honorable house had never witnessed major construction in the assembly. On this note, I want to appeal to Your Excellency to leverage on the 2024 budget for the reconstruction of the assembly complex. We also hope to receive Your Excellency in befitting environment as we come to present the 2025 appropriation bill next year, inshallah. At this juncture, I want to assure Your Excellency that the Honorable House will immediately swing into action to pass the 2024 budget in a good time to help the state keep to a January to December budget cycle. This should be done without compromising our rules and established tradition for thorough security and engagement with all identified relevant stakeholders. Of the military excellency, our major function are rulemaking, implementation, and discharge of oversight on a government, ministry, department, and agency, MDS. In respect of Your Excellency, may note that our chamber is a vibrant as your administration is attending to its statutory responsibility. In the last 5 months, our inauguration as the member of 10th Kano State Assembly, the Honorable House has passed the 2023 supplementary bill into law. The Kano State Rehabilitation Council, CRC, amended law and holds the others under due consideration. During this period, Your Excellency, we screen and confirm 22 honorable commissioners and members of the State Executive Council. We also screen and confirm the appointment of Chairman Pension Fund Trust, the acting Chief Judge of the State to run of the successive Chief Judge as recommended by the National Judicial Council, as well as approval granted to His Excellency for the appointment of political appointees in the seats. In the same period, Your Excellency, distinguished guests, the Honorable House had passed resolution on more than 55 motions sponsored by honorable members covering diverse areas such as road, education, water supply, healthcare services, etc., all of which are aimed at improving the living standard of our people. Accordingly, I would like to use this opportunity to inform all heads of governments, ministries, departments, agencies in the state to prepare and make themselves available to defend their budget proposal before our respective committee of the House. I also wish to invite the attention of the members of the public and other interested non-governmental organizations, civil society, and other professional bodies to prepare for our invitation for the conduct of public hearing for the year 2024 appropriation bill. In the end, I want to assure Your Excellency that the budget of restoration and transformation as presented before this honorable House will be passed before end of the year 2023, so that implementation will commence by the 1st day of January 2024, inshallah. Finally, I wish Your Excellency and all your distinguished guests safe return to your respective office and destination. Wassalamu alaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh.
The Right Honorable Speaker, Your Excellency the Governor, Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor, my colleagues, distinguished honorable members, other distinguished honorable guests, audience at the gallery, I am Honorable Lawan Hussein Chetel Embrace. The Right Honorable Speaker, I would like to use this medium to seek your kind permission to allow His Excellency the Governor, the Deputy Governor, and the other guests leave in order to allow us to receive progress so that we can continue with other deliberations.
Yes, Minority Leader. The Right Honorable Speaker, my dear the Excellency, the Executive Governor of Kano State, the Deputy Governor of my dear state, my colleagues, honorable members, other invited guests, my name is Governor Kumbadari, member representing Wara constituency. The Speaker stands to suspend the motion moved in favor of the majority leader as consequence. To all of you, we should also for the national anthem, please.